Good morning, it's me again. Feeling a little bit better. Still just a little getting more ghosties done. Apparently, they really like them at the store, so I gotta get a bunch done. And I even needed to get more yarn. I'm still only one sale away from getting my booth cost, but I've still got, I don't know, 2 or 3 days. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I've got a few days, I think. Because the first and second is this weekend. And then there's gonna be a sale, but I do need to get some stuff going before then so that I can get that booth cost. But at this point, it doesn't matter what I sell because I only need $1.05. So that's good. So if anybody sees this that's in the Spokane area, get yourself the Famous Joe's and see if I got any cuteness that you like. Okay, I don't have to be that pushy, but yeah, I like doing the consignment shop. It was a little bit stressful and scary there for a hot minute because I wasn't sure if I was going to make booth costs, and 58's a lot to ask John to have to pay for. Um, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I can, and then hopefully people will buy stuff. It is kind of early, and I have been getting more sales that are not on the weekends, so I might actually still be able to get that one last sale. And then updates on my health, I guess. Yeah, I actually went to the store without my boot cast the other day. I'm really it's not really hurting anymore, but I'm still getting some aches and cramps and stuff like that that suggest that it's not fully healed, and it does feel a bit weak. So I still have to be careful. But I did manage to make it all the way to the store and back home and do the shopping and all that, in between. And I didn't have any problems except that it kind of hurt when I got home, but that wasn't too big of a deal. Um, if I keep Jasper in the house, my daughter's cat's such a little fuzzy stinker, but I went to go and take the trash and stuff outside, and the little shit hid behind the door where I couldn't see him, and when I opened the door, he zipped out. And then just when I thought I was gonna need the water bottle, he let me take him back in the house. Ugh, cats. They're great. They're a lot like having fuzzy pets are very much like having little furry children that never grow up. So I think that's something people should take into consideration before getting one. I mean, they are very different than children. They don't have the same needs, but they can be they can wear on that last nerve just like a little kid. So yeah, I think people before getting a pet, they should definitely think about that. That being a possibility. Um, Even with temperament and personality, because Gigi is perfect, but he still drives me crazy sometimes. He does this like scratchy come hither thing. It's a Bombay thing. Um, he's also like always cuddly. That's also a Bombay thing. And then like sometimes in the middle of the night he'll scream like he was doing last night. He'll scream at the top of his cat voice. And since he's part Siamese, oh my god, that's loud. So yeah, he can be annoying too, but it's just part of being a pet owner. It's very similar to being a parent, except there's no diapers, but there is a litter box or walkies, or depending on if you have a cat or dog, or not really even sure what the care needs are for some of the things like a spider or a lizard, but I know it's easy to find out. But cats and dogs are by far the most common pets, and it's probably because they do have personalities. They can actually be trained, though. It is more difficult to train a cat. You can actually train them. And so they have more purposes than just being a lap animal. Um, so I think that's part of the reason why cats and dogs are way more popular as pets. Also, they're soft and cuddly, and cats purr, and dogs let you know in their own little way. They're happy when they're secure. Um, yeah, and like for my for my thing, I think I want to do like I have 3 subscribers. I'm gonna see if I can get 10, and then if I do 10, then I don't know. But yeah, I get 10 subscribers. That's a goal for my channel, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do about that because I don't really have any funding. I'm not really gonna. I think I need to get closer to 100 subscribers before I do something like Patreon, because I don't want to make anything, I don't want to make it too expensive. Um, and I don't know how to do funding through the other thing, and I think you need to get a lot more. It's kind of like with the lives. I can't do a live until I have, it's either 100 or 1,000, but I don't remember. Um, but I can't do lives until I have a bunch more subscribers. So that's the thing. And I think lives would be good because then we could get conversations, especially if we can get some more people in here. And since I do want to talk about how disabled people are treated in other countries, it doesn't matter which country. It would just help if you spoke English because I don't have the mental capacity to learn like 45 different languages or whatever there is. But yeah. Um, And I know I don't. I mean, most people don't. I mean, my neighbor was phenomenal back in Bellingham because she could speak 7 languages. And she'd learned most of them when in early childhood because she came from an area where you had a lot of cross culture. So she learned like 4 or 5 of the languages that she speaks as a child in, I think she said it was Afghanistan. But I don't remember where she learned English, but she did. And so she came here for a better life, and she or to America for a better life, and then she became a translator. She gets paid to translate, and she says sometimes she didn't like the translations because of like being at court or whatever. It can be very difficult if somebody's being difficult and you don't want to say what they said, but you have to say what they said because that's your job. um I totally get that. But yeah, even she didn't have the capacity for learning like every language ever, and she was a very smart woman. I think she's still around. I just haven't seen her since we moved, so I don't know what's going on with her, so I can't say too much. I know a lot of us were trying to get out of that apartment complex because it was just a nightmare. I mean, it was good because he had the craft store and the pharmacy and the grocery store like right across the street, but it was bad because he had homeless people staggering up into your porch, even on the 3rd floor, banging on the door, demanding drugs and sex and whatever else, because they knew it was just women with kids, and that was bad. And then call the cops, and they're like, "What do you want us to do about it?" And they're like, "Show up." Just show up because this guy will take off when he hears you coming. I mean, duh. That's just crazy. But yeah, that was the life. That's why I left Bellingham, and things are not the greatest here either, but it's not as bad. We had a prowler last night. Shania took a bunch of stuff that was left outside because we either didn't know what to do with it or somebody completely forgot that it was out there. So there was a bunch of stuff that's potentially valuable that was left outside. And I've also been noticing that somebody's been playing with Frank's camper. Frank is my roommate's brother. We're trying to help him because he's trying to get clean, and I think he is clean now. We're helping him stay clean because that's the struggle. Addiction sucks, and I hope nobody gets involved with it. Um, but yeah, I can do that here too, like to try to get people to understand like how important it is to be sober and how hard it is to not be addicted, and like some of the struggles you have, like because I know a lot of people that are addicted to pain meds, and then and several of them are terrified of being in like a traffic accident or getting too sick because if they go to the hospital and they get medication, they're going to be right back into that nightmare. Yeah, it's just so it's I'm kind of glad actually that they're not going full narcs with me anymore. I'm really glad about that because I do have concerns about becoming an addict because there's a lot of addicts in my mom's side especially. Um I think there's a few on my dad's side, but not as bad as my mom's. But I don't really know my dad's side, so that's kind of where that is. Um, but yeah, I'm been sick my whole life. I get hurt easy my whole life. I'll hurt for no reason. And this has been happening my whole life, and it's been like for a long time they've just been throwing drugs at me, and then I start noticing I'm having problems. Like I can't take codeine anymore. because straight codeine just makes me shake, and it shouldn't do that. It's not an allergy, it's an intolerance, and that's um my system can no longer tolerate it because I've been taking it too much, and then they don't want to put me on anything like hydrocodone because they're afraid it's too. Oh no, I take the hydrocodones when they prescribe them, but I don't like to be on them because I feel sick. They make me feel like the Jello monster. I just lay there and I feel sick, and I can't really do anything, and I can't focus, and I just feel it's not good. Um, and it's harder than hell to get anybody to do anything around here if I do get taken out, which I found with my ankle. I only had a few chores I couldn't do, and it was really hard to get them to do them, and then they do them wrong, which was not a problem that Eli put the recycling out when he wasn't supposed to, but it was still like, how do I get help when I can't do this stuff if the people can't do it? I mean, the light bulb has been out on the stairwell. I don't know how long. I finally got Eli motivated, and we got the replacement bulbs, but we can't reach it, and we've been having a hard time getting a hold of getting one of the taller guys, because John and Logan are pretty tall, to 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 do it. But between shit that's happening and work schedules and all that stuff, it's really been hard to get a hold of them. Just just I mean, and we live in the same house, so just ah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. And then they're doing something, I think, this weekend called the the zombie crawl. So it's going to be difficult to get a hold of them then too. So it's just a struggle to get anything done in this house if I don't wind up doing it, because they just don't. It's not that they can't, they just don't. They don't do it. And and I know they work, and I know they're tired, and I do get all that stuff, but and we try not to give them like all the chores at once. Like, there's the list, do something. That kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's just, there's always troubles when you're living in a house with a bunch of people, and I'm just kind of glad that it's little shit at this point. Like, they do keep me up sometimes. They do steal my food sometimes, which can piss me off, especially at the end of the month when I don't have any extra resources. Um, so, they do, and then like it's hard to get them to do any chores around the house, like anything at all. I mean, but it's not the biggest problems in the world. It's actually is why I've been thinking about moving out, because I do feel like I'm being taken a bit advantage of, and I'm not being respected. But at the at this point, I can't do anything about it. So I mean, they're not listening to me. They're not. Yeah. So I do need my own income. I don't know if I'm going to be able to move out or not, but that's just something I've been thinking about doing. Um, I wasn't really certain that I wanted to stay living in the house with them the whole time anyway, because sometimes my daughter and I don't get along for varying reasons, and it's just really hard because I don't know. Today I'm waiting for packages, which is another thing that drives me nuts, that they just expect me to be available 24/7 to wait for their packages. But at least I know about the packages. We're getting a little bit better with them expressing things like um, when people are coming over and when they're expecting packages. They just don't always give me the expected delivery dates. So, but whatever, I know stuff is coming. So I have to watch for that. So we are getting better with some of this stuff. It's just like it's really hard to talk to them, because I feel like, um, and it's not even the difference between one generation and another. I feel like they don't listen. Maybe it's a respect issue. I don't know. It's hard to know, because it's just hard to know what the problem is. But there is definitely a communication error going on here. So yeah, but it's not all bad. Like I said, they did. John did get me yarn when I asked, because the shop wants to showcase my ghosts. And they are, John and I are at least responding a lot quicker about certain things like cleaning, like when I tell them we need cleaning supplies and I can't afford them, or when I tell them their cats need something. So that's good. They are responding quicker. Um, so that's, hopefully things will get better. And when I get my own income, I can do so much more stuff. There's so much more that I can do myself and not have to worry about them. And I don't know. It's hard. Trying to get better, trying to recover from an ear infection when I'm not getting enough sleep. And like I said, I'm worried about the food and all that stuff. It's just, it'll be fine though. I mean, like, oh, roommate situations always have this problem, and unfortunately, people with disabilities in today's economy find themselves having to live with other people because they just can't afford to go move out on their own. And I'm seeing rent prices, really cute apartment that I saw that was 2 bedrooms. It was very small. It was about the same size as the one I was in before, and they want like $1,200 for it. It's not worth 1,200. There's no way that's worth 1,200. That's just crazy. So I may not be able to move out on my own, but it was something I was thinking about. Just kind of have my own space, kind of where it's quiet. I don't have to worry about what the fuck are they doing this time. You know, that's something I was thinking about because I'm just, oh, I don't feel like I matter in the house sometimes. I just don't feel like my needs are getting met to the way that they should be. But at the same time, I'm not in the streets and I've got a roof over my head and there's kitties and food. There is food and it's just not always the greatest, but there is stuff. It's just because this isn't like other countries. Like you hear stories about places like India that's so overpopulated that it's just absolutely ridiculous. And then when people talk about not having food, they literally mean there's not even ramen. I mean, you can see the ramen, there's crackers. We've got food. It's just not the best food. And with my health issues, I need to eat a little bit better or I get sick. And I bet a lot of the people out there are feeling the same way. So yeah, I do feel like things are getting better. We have these little phases where things are like, it's kind of like the economy. Right now I don't know I'm not even gonna make statements on what's going on with the economy, except that if we keep our heads and we do what's right, we should all be able to come through it at least okay. Um, this isn't gonna be like, I can't guarantee that it's gonna be like the best thing ever. I don't know if it's gonna get bad as the Great Depression, though it definitely has the potential. Um, but if people are doing what they need to do, keep your jobs, going to work, staying sober, taking care of your health as best as you can, making sure your bills are paid and your kids are fed and all that good stuff, and you have shoes and clothes and stuff that you need, the stuff that you actually need, and then spend the money, the extra money. It's the seeding the economy thing only works if you don't get evicted. So yeah. Yeah, because then that creates problems. But I don't know. Some of my grumpiness could be just me picking up on a lot of the negative energy that seems to be going around right now. And then you see all these news reports, and some of it doesn't seem to be founded, where you hear about people freaking out in other countries and wars and bombs and it's just crazy. There's so much craziness going on, and I don't know what's actually happening and what's not actually happening because I'm nowhere near the position of somebody that would know that. But I do know I do know that going into a time frame where we have some potentials for there being some pretty scary stuff happening, but we can also just it could also just be hard times for a while. Um, and just hard times isn't too bad. I think they call that a recession. We survived recessions before, but I've got to figure out how to get out of debt so that I don't have to worry about the debt. So, um, let's see if I can get my sales going. Still waiting on stuff from Social Security. Um, I don't I don't know what's going on with that. So the government, working with the government at all is pretty much hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. Um, so that's just is where it is, and I'm supposed to call my attorney if I don't hear from them by a specific date. And yeah, I think that's it. Um, so I think that's what it is for me. What do you guys want to talk about? What are you guys feeling? How are you guys handling things? Anybody else having some stuff going on, like you able to sell your crafts or babysitting or something? Like, give us some clues, some hints. Talk to us a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to get you guys to talk. Because I feel like just talking about me, it just feels like I'm just talking about me. It's just kind of egocentric, and that's kind of weird for me. So let's see. What do you guys got going on? What do you guys want to talk about? See if I can get some more subscribers. So if you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and hopefully I can get to 10 pretty soon. I'm actually surprised I'm at 3 already. But yeah, when I get to a point where I can do live videos, then we can do some live videos and have some actual conversations. Of course, I'll have to schedule the lives and let you guys know that that's gonna happen, and then like what the topic's gonna be if we know. Um, but right now I'm not feeling all that great. Something's setting my fibro off, and I know it's not just the ear infection. I think it's the weather. Oh, I think it's gonna rain tomorrow, and that might be getting on me. So yeah, let me know what you guys want to talk about. Even if you're having a hard time figuring out how to get diagnosed, that's something that we can help each other out with, because sometimes you have all these weird symptoms and you have to keep going back to the hospital and keep going back to the hospital. Sometimes you got to change your doctor 2 or 3 times. It's a pain in the ass, but you got to do it. So I'm gonna let you go. Have a good day. I hope everybody else is doing good. Bye.